All right, hello there, friends. It's Jimmy Maverick. Welcome. We are doing a mock draft today, and we're going to show you how the 16 Rounds Plus app works. Now, you use it in a draft. It's a very handy tool to help you guys if you haven't done your drafts yet, or you still have drafts coming up this next week, of which I have 4. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to check it out. So we're going to do a mock draft today, a half-point PPR snake draft, 12 teams, picking 8th. I picked 8th because my first draft on Sunday, tomorrow, is going to be from the 8th position. So I want to see what kind of team I can build with this draft position. It's going to be 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 1 defense, 1 kicker, 6 bench slots is going to be the setup. And over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see the app. This is 16roundsplus.com. I invite you to go to our website. You can sign up with a free membership to log in and check out a limited version of the app, which will show you the top 36 players. But it has a ton of really good information for you to bring into an app. And one of the nice things that it does, and you'll see in draft mode, is it helps make recommendations for each round of your draft based on the size of your league, your draft position, and your league scoring settings. So it's fully customizable, very easy to use. We're gonna use it right now. So I'm just gonna get the app going before we start the mock draft here. So this is going to be a half-point PPR, so I'm going to choose that for the league point schedule. It says, do I want to engage the counselor's recommended player filters? No, I want to see all the players on the list. And then entering draft mode, again, we just have to put in the size of our league, 12 team, our draft position, 8th draft position. We'll go ahead, we'll enter draft mode. And what it's doing now is it's breaking down the top 250 list based on this setup. And what we're going to be seeing here is for each round of the draft, it has a little pod of players. All the pod of players is basically everyone from this pick to the next pick in the draft with a little bit of overlap. But instead of being ranked according to draft position or stuff like that, all the players earn a CUDDY score. Now, CUDDY stands for consistency, upside, durability, depth chart, and youth. They earn points based on how they score on these 5 criteria. Those points are added up. That gives you a CUDDY score. It's a scale of 1 to 100. Obviously, the higher is the better. But basically, if they have a green circle around their CUDDY score, that's a good choice, but I always like to go for the guys with the most CUDDY points, right? That's the guys with the most upside. You will also see players with a little yellow triangle around their CUDDY score. Those are risky picks. And you'll see little red stop signs around CUDDY scores. Those are do not draft players, okay? So you can see here it's brought up first round, pick number 8. It's going to recommend for us Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb. So those are great choices, and you'll see those are the top 3 choices here. You'll also see here's Tyreek Hill actually in the 3rd position, but this little gun indicates that he's a long shot. He's not expected to make it to us, but if he did, he would be worth considering. I don't know if I would take him over someone like Bijan or Saquon, but he's definitely in consideration. You can also see here's Garrett Wilson, and he has little hands next to his CUDDY score. That means he's a reach. What that means is he might be available to us in the next round. So we're going to go into this, and you can see there's a bunch of other names here. Here's Nick Chubb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Kelce, A.J. Brown. These are all good picks, right? But obviously the best ones, according to CUDDY, are Bijan and Saquon. Those are the top 2 picks for the first round based on this draft position. So let's go ahead and we will start the draft and see who the app takes with the first 7 picks. So that tends to go pretty quick. Let me go to the draft board here. And so it started out Justin Jefferson first, then Christian McCaffrey. Bijan Robinson went 3. Okay, that's a surprise. Jamar Chase, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, Tyreek Hill, and now it's to us. So basically of everyone who's still left here, our choice would be to take Saquon. But let's go ahead. We'll look at the draft board. I like to look at the cheat sheets actually, and hide the tiers, hide the drafted. Okay, so we still got some really interesting players here. We got Travis Kelce. He was not expected to make it to us. There's Saquon, Stephon Diggs, Tony Pollard, Cooper Kupp, who's dealing with a hamstring injury. I am off Cooper Kupp right now. I'm not drafting him at all. In fact, I don't like to draft injured players. especially these guys with these soft tissue injuries. There's a lot of hamstring injuries out there, groin injuries. Those things are really hard to come back from, and there's a high likelihood of recurrence. So basically, in my opinion, the only time you can control injuries is during your draft. So don't draft injured players. Draft healthy players that are ready to go right now. That's what you want. You want a strong start. You want to win your first few games because that puts you in a really good position for the rest of the season. So I like to bank on immediate value, and I discount any future value. There's a lot of people saying, oh, this guy's going to be great at the end of the season. It doesn't matter if you don't make the playoffs. So I want to make sure I make the playoffs first, and then I'll consider these people. But certainly Saquon is our top choice. Now, Travis Kelce was not expected to make it to us. He's not on this list right now because we have the 8th position, but we can restore him. So if we go, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. He would be. He is on the list. Where is Travis? Oh, there he's Travis Kelce. So Travis Kelce, again, was a long shot to make it to us. Scores 66 cutting points. He's a great choice, man. I got to say, again, number 1 tight end, positional advantage. Positional advantage isn't as important in a 12-team league as it is in smaller leagues like 8-team and 10-team leagues. So I don't think I really want Travis Kelce. But I'm going to take the guy with the second most cutting points for this round, Saquon Barkley. So let's go ahead. We're going to draft him. And before I draft him, let's just go to the next round. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the queue for players in the next round. So once we're done with our first pick, this is what you would do. You just go to round 2. And I'm just doing this now because in this game, it just immediately goes to your second pick. We're going to go through the process of the second round. So for the second round, it's recommending Chris Olave, Jahmyr Gibbs, Najee Harris. But at the top of the list, we got 2 long shots that if they make it to us, we should definitely take them. Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra. So what I want to do is I'm going to utilize my queue and mark these guys off so I don't miss them, all right? So there's Garrett Wilson, there's Amon-Ra, and where is it showing? Oh, there's my queue, all right? But then after that, Chris Olave, and really second round is a great round to get yourself an ace wide receiver. There's so many good choices in the second round. CeeDee Lamb also, as he was, the number 3 pick for the first round. I definitely want to keep him just in case he makes it to us. These draft simulators tend to be a little bit crazy. But then you can also see Jahmyr Gibbs, who is a reach on this round. I don't know if I would really have it in me to take Jahmyr Gibbs this early. Especially with the chance that he would make it to our next pick. Same with Najee Harris. I don't think I could take him in the second round. Let's see here. A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry are both long shots. Ramondre Stevenson, Devontae Adams. So I think we got enough in our queue. We got a good queue set up for the next round. So let's go ahead. And we are going to take Saquon and see what happens here in the interim. So right after us, Travis Kelce came off. That's not surprising. Let's look at the queue and see let's look at the draft board and see what happened here. So after we took Saquon Barkley, then Travis Kelce came off. Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard, Stephon Diggs. There's CeeDee Lamb. There's Garrett Wilson. There's A.J. Brown. There's Amon-Ra. Okay, so a lot of these guys, and again, we didn't expect them to make it to us. Long shot means less than a 50-50 chance he's going to make it to us. So I'm not disappointed that they didn't make it, but the top-rated player that for this round, the top recommendation, Chris Olave, is still available. And so I like that, and I like him over any of these other choices, Henry, Adams, Jacobs, Waddle. I want to get myself an ace wide receiver 1 with a massive amount of upside. Chris Olave fills the bill. Derek Carr has been outstanding with his number 1 target. There's just an incredible amount of upside here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Chris Olave. That's going to be my choice. But again, we're going to look to the next round and we're going to set up players in the queue to see who we want to get. So you can see here that for the third round pick, it's recommending Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Joe Burrow. But at the very top of the list is Jahmyr Gibbs. So if Jahmyr makes it to us at pick number 32, kind of a slim chance, I think, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, right? And we've already got him on the queue anyway. He's already on the queue. But let's go ahead and get some of these other guys marked. So let's see here. Where is Deebo? And certainly Deebo's prospects look much better now that Purdy is back. You know, and I think that he's a decent choice. Cooper, I'm a little bit cooler on because he doesn't score well on consistency, and he's always been like this. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is, doesn't matter what team he's on. His consistency is always terrible. Now, last year, it didn't matter too much because you were able to get him in like the 7th or 8th round. He was like your flex player. It was fine. You could ride that volatility. But now you got to take him as basically a wide receiver 1 or 2. Not super excited about that. We could also go quarterbacks. Look, here's a couple of quarterbacks. Joe Burrow, Justin Fields. These guys are both reaches. So I'm not inclined to take them on this round, but I would be if they make it to the next round, but I'm going to just get them on the queue just to see where they're at. Who else do we have here? We got Calvin Ridley as a long shot. Oh yeah, if Ridley makes it to us, I would take Ridley, but I do not expect him to make it back to us on our next pick. We got a long gap here. So where is Ridley? Why am I not seeing him? There he is. Okay, whoop. No, I don't want Travis Etienne. Calvin Ridley. Okay, so our queue, nice and fat. This is what I love. I love having a nice fat queue of players that I'm interested in. Let's just go ahead. We're going to take Chris Olave, and we're going to see what happens. So we'll go ahead and we'll take him. And we will go around. Looks like the elite quarterbacks have all come off the board. Let's look at the draft board and see what happened here. So after I took Olave, then Waddle came off, Mahomes, Derrick Henry, Devontae Adams, Ramondre Stevenson, Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, then Najee Harris and Jahmyr Gibbs. Oh boy, neither one of those guys made it back to me. Devonta Smith, Joe Mixon, and I knew they were long shots anyway. It was a long shot anyway. Joe Mixon, Jalen Hurts, Travis Etienne, Alexander Mattison. So we've been very heavy on the running backs here in the first 3 rounds. And I got to say, that's not typical to what I've been seeing in live drafts that I've been doing. So this is, again, this is just a simulation, but it has been much heavier with the wide receivers in the first few rounds. And that's allowed good running backs to be available much later. But let's look at our queue and see who made it to us. So we could definitely go with, we've got some good choices here, but look at this. One of my top choices would be was Calvin Ridley, and you can see here he scores well. He scores 51 cutting points. He was not expected to make it to us. I love the upside of Calvin Ridley, but let's just see here. If we go to the 4th round, okay, we got guys like Dameon Pierce, Justin Fields, Alexander Mattison. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here is I am going to take Calvin Ridley with my 3rd overall pick. Even though he doesn't score as well as Debo or Amari Cooper, I think his upside is better. I've been very much in on Calvin Ridley. I could go for the stack with Trevor Lawrence as well. That's another option that we have. So I think I'm going to go Ridley on this round. But let's set up our queue for the next round. So you can see that Dameon Pierce is the top choice of the next round. So I kind of like that. Dameon, Joe Burrow's a long shot. Fields actually should make it to us on the next pick. Alexander Mattison, and we've got Cam Akers, who's a guy I haven't taken a ton of this year. I took him in like 1 draft, and that was it. But you know what? He is the one. He is on a contract year. It's not going to be a great team, but he's going to get the volume. There's really no one else in that backfield. Here's some risky picks if you wanted to go that route. Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf. They both score pretty good on the Cuddy score, but their upside is kind of limited. And McLaurin's dealing with that toe injury. So again, I don't like to draft injured players. Who else do we got? Oh, we got Drake London and Christian Watson. Let's get them. Let's see here. Christian Watson, Drake London. And we've got Justin Herbert as a reach, TJ Hawkinson, TJ Hawkinson. Both these guys risky picks at this point in the draft. Okay, I think we're good. I think our queue is pretty good here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Ridley. So getting Olave and Ridley is actually, I'm very excited about that. We got Saquon as our number 1. And hopefully we can get Pierce on the next pick. That'll be a good addition there. So let's go ahead. We'll draft Ridley. See what happens here. So, of course, Pierce just went off the board. Of course he did. I figured that was going to happen. Let's look at the draft board here. So after I took Calvin Ridley, it was T. Higgins, Mark Andrews, then Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, and Dameon Pierce. So, okay, so I'm in a little bit of a situation here. I could take Cam Akers. Let's just look at the let's look at who's available for running backs. Oh, Ken Walker is still there. You know, Walker is kind of a risky pick, but I kind of like him. Let me see if where is he on the board here? Walker. There. Oh, he's a do not draft. Just bad value, limited upside. Cam Akers does rate better. There's James Conner, James Cook, Rachaad White. Okay, I don't really want to wait on any more running backs, so I think I'm going to have to take Cam Akers here. We do have some really good choices for wide receivers, but I just got a feeling if I don't take, oh man. I mean, I do have my hero RB, so I'm set with that. And I know the counselor doesn't like it, likes to go robust RB, but we kind of made our decisions here. I could go Debo here as my flex. I kind of like that. I kind of like that idea. Oh boy. All right. And Christian Watson I like, Drake London I like, but I think Debo would be a solid choice as my flex. Let's look at the next round. Let's see what the next round looks like. So for the next round, it's recommending Diontae Johnson, Trevor Lawrence, Jerry Jeudy. So it's recommending all wide receivers and quarterbacks. So I think we really need to get. I think we need to get our running back here. I think because what running backs are going to be available in the next round? It's saying Cam Akers is a long shot. Connor Dobbins is already gone. So okay, let's go ahead. We're going to take Akers as our second running back. And I think what we're going to do is we should have some decent options for wide receivers. Look at that. Burrow's still on the board. Burrow in the 5th is a pretty nice choice. So if we look at the draft board here, so since I took Cam Akers, then Connor, DK Metcalf, Amari Cooper, Kenneth Walker, Deebo Samuel, Keenan Allen, Jonathan Taylor closed out the 4th round. Then TJ Hockenson, DeAndre Hopkins, Brian Robinson, Darren Waller, Christian Watson, George Kittle, and David Montgomery to my pick. And so now if we look at my queue, we've got some interesting options here. I mean, again, I can take my quarterback here. This would be a good time to take Burrow. Burrow's on a contract year, and his injury, he's fine. He's back. It's fine. He's going to be okay for kickoff next week. Justin Fields also is one that I very much like. A lot of upside there. And Trevor Lawrence is still out there. So what it's telling me to do this round is to take it's telling me to take Diontae Johnson. And Diontae Johnson, again, I think he is a really good bounce back player this year. I think the Pittsburgh offense looks really good. See, there's Cam Akers was a long shot. Trevor Lawrence and Jerry Jeudy are both reaches, and Jeudy, of course, is injured, so I'm kind of staying away from him. But let's get Lawrence. Since we've got Ridley, I kind of like the idea of stacking with Lawrence. There's Justin Herbert as a long shot for the next round. Let's see here. Godwin, Kittle. Right. All right. So let's look at the queue. I think this is a good round to take my quarterback because again, Burrow's still available. And then I think what we can do is, and are there any decent running backs? No. How about round 6? Yeah, Montgomery's already gone. Javonte's still on the board, I do believe. Let's look here. Cheat sheets. Where's Javonte? There's Javonte. Okay, I could take Javonte now and then just grab one of these quarterbacks on the next round. I think that's going to be my best bet. And then that way I've got my 3 running backs. I got 2 great wide receivers, and then I'll have my quarterback. So I think that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to, let me just go ahead. I'm going to just mark off. Oh, Trevor Lawrence is already marked off. Let's mark off Herbert too, because I'll take him if he makes it. One of these 4 guys is going to make it to me, no problem. It's a short turnaround. It's only 9 picks or 8 picks. So let's go ahead. I do need another running back. Javonte, Sean Payton offense, they utilize the running backs great. He is coming back from an injury, but he looks fine. Fully practicing, played in the preseason. I'm good with drafting him. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take Javonte. Okay, Fields and Burrow did come off. So, again, for the 6th round, I was saying we're going to take a quarterback here. And so I like Trevor Lawrence to pair him with Calvin Ridley. And again, love the upside for Lawrence this year, contract year. I think he's has a ton of upside. I think he's being way underestimated right now by most everybody in the fantasy football community. I will take advantage of that. So I'm going to take him as my 6th pick. And let's look to the 7th round. So the 7th round is going to be the last one we're going to do today. But we can see here that I could grab someone like A.J. Dillon, who I very much like. I think A.J. Dillon's going to have a nice big role this year. I think Aaron Jones is a fading star. Who else is there? Kamara, Pacheco, Cook, Swift. Now, I don't like any of those guys. See, they all rate terribly on the app, so I'm not interested in them. What about for wide receivers? Oh, there's a wide receiver I've been wanting to get. Man, Flowers. I'm in on Flowers. I'm in on him in this offense. I think he's going to be great. Where are you, Flowers? Marquise Brown is a volume play in a bad offense. Gabe Davis, again, that would be my wide receiver 3, so I'm okay with taking him as my 3 or 4. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jahan Dotson, these guys don't rate well. You know, Jackson Smith broke his wrist, so he's going to be coming back from that. And then let's look at tight ends. Goddard and Ingram, they don't rate very well at all. Bad values on both of them, so I'm not interested in that. I've mostly been fading the tight end position, and I like to be like the last person in my league to grab a tight end. You know, it is the lowest scoring position, and if you don't get Travis Kelce, it doesn't really matter. But the volume of these guys is just absolutely pathetic when it compared to like the wide receivers that are going in the same round. You know, Dallas Goedert right now is projected, let's see here, he's projected to have 86 targets. 86 targets in the 7th round. That's not worth anything, you know, and people are taking it for the upside. You know, he's the number 3 target on that team. I'm just not seeing it. But let's go ahead. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our quarterback. We're going to take Trevor, and let's see who else comes off. And if we go to the draft board, okay, so after I took Trevor Lawrence, then it was Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Rashad White, Isaiah Pacheco, David Njoku, Justin Herbert, then Brandon Ayuk closed out the 6th round, and then the 7th round started with Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Mike Williams, Dak Prescott, Khalil Herbert, Jerry Jeudy, Kirk Cousins. Jeudy has really fell here, man. Wow. He fell pretty far. Let's look at our queue, and you can see here, Deontay Johnson's still on the board. A.J. Dillon's still on the board. Now, given that I could go and take A.J. Dillon because I do like him. He is the top-rated player for this round. But if I restore Deontay Johnson, because again, Johnson should have already been gone by this point. If we restore him, Deontay Johnson's ahead of him, and Deontay Johnson's very valuable. I like them both, though, but I think going for a 3rd wide receiver here is the best choice. Gives me some nice flexibility in my flex position here if I want to go running back or wide receiver. So I think that's going to be my pick. So that's it. So thank you very much for watching this. I hope you found it informative. I invite you to, again, go to my website. Go to 16roundsplus.com, sign up, create a free account, access the free limited version of the app. If you like it, you can subscribe, utilize it in all your drafts this week. It's a very powerful tool to have. It gives you lots of great information, again, about who are the long shots, who are the reaches for this round, who's on a contract year. That's what this little $ means. These little line heads mean those are counselor picks, so you know who the counselor likes on these rounds. You got the Cuddy score, you've got their durability, consistency ratings, value ratings. You know, again, it's a very, very valuable piece of information to have while you're in a live draft. It's very helpful. And thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Have yourself a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.